I've been blessed to have seen many wonderful places in Taiwan. The best places for me are usually connected to nature somehow. I think that goes back to my African roots. However, this place is kind of hard for me to explain. I do understand that people have different personalities and different beliefs. What I like, you might not like. But the best way for me to explain this place is, as of December 2013, this particular place is probably my favorite place in Taiwan. I'm not exactly sure how you would get to this place if you didn't drive. I mean, there might be a bus or something, or maybe you'll just have to cab it. I'll add a Google Maps marker of the place itself on my blog page, as well as the closest MRT, so that you have an idea of where to go. If you do drive, it's really easy. You basically take the number 3 freeway, which is Bayergao, all the way north until you get to the port. When you take that exit, the ferry cave is almost directly next to that turnoff. There is a parking lot right in front of the temple with a couple of parking spots, and if you go during the week, I think you'll get a spot here. Or else you can just park next door. There's another parking lot next door. I don't think people would mind if you park next door. This is a place of prayer, and even to a non-religious person, the place has a profound magical energy. But inside, sound travels. So it's probably a good and respectful idea to keep your voice at a whisper level when you go inside. So when you walk in the main entrance, you'll walk into a big room. I'm going to call this room the first chamber, which is basically a big opening that makes up part of this cave. Within this first chamber, there's a beautiful shrine, and on the walls there are little statues and carvings on both sides. If you walk past the shrine to the right, you'll enter the second chamber. Again, there's lots of sculptures and even things carved into the rock walls, which is quite spectacular. In this chamber, there is a huge glass-fronted display area at the back of the chamber. There's nothing beyond this second chamber, so from here you're going to go back to the first chamber, and as if you were walking in for the first time, this time you're going to go to the left of that display case in the first chamber. This will lead you to the third and final chamber. But to get to this chamber, you're going to have to navigate a rather narrow cave path of around 50 to 100 meters, I think. It becomes increasingly narrower. I managed to hobble all the way through, but a friend of mine had to go on all fours. And as you can imagine, wearing heels will be really challenging. So if you do want to go, make sure that you're not wearing heels. The further you go through this narrow little path, the thicker the air will become, and the atmosphere is quite stale and wet inside. If you suffer from claustrophobia, you might want to think twice about going in. Finally, this narrow path is going to open up into the third chamber. Now, this is not a small room, but it's smaller than the other two chambers. On the sides of the wall, you're going to see some names carved out, and these are people who have donated to this temple. At the back of the room, there's a small glass display, and almost in the middle of the room, there's a huge square rock, and in front of that, there's a little prayer stool. I love this space. It's quiet and it's just magical. I felt really connected here, and I even knelt on this little prayer stool. And since I'm not a religious person, I thought asking for prosperity for the year to come might be a little bit arrogant. So instead, I just took a moment to thank the gods or Mother Earth or whatever the energy is in this room for a wonderful life, health and happiness. There are certain dates on the lunar calendar that there will be little performances outside the temple. Today happened to be one of those days, and there was a little Chinese puppet show. I love puppet shows. However, this was rather loud, and it kind of spoiled the magical feeling of the place for me. So just keep that in mind when you go. There might be a puppet show outside. And finally, beside the fairy cave entrance, to the right, you'll see a little temple. And next to that, you're going to see a staircase. This will lead you to another hidden treasure called the Buddha handprint cave. Gotta go lower. The benefits of being short.